Hello Canterbury and welcome to Canterbury Live on Monday the 15th of June. Well, did you catch the fight in the weekend? Not just any fight, of course. Mr Parker against the Scorpion. Well, it was all over in round 2, wasn't it? And let's be honest, he probably could have got it in the first round. But hey, well done Mr Parker. He's got a huge future ahead of him. Now to a subject a bit softer. Disney, the wonderful world of Disney, it is heading to Christchurch. Yes, Dare to Dream. Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream. Join your favourite Disney princesses and their heroic princes in a classic meets contemporary celebration of 75 years of Disney princess stories. Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream at the Christchurch Horncastle Arena from the 7th to the 9th of August, and tickets are available from Ticketek. Very cool indeed. Rightio. If you'd like to win a ticket, we have some free tickets to give away. Very exciting. I'll give you the details in just a moment because Extend Life, we have extended it out for another week due to it being such a substantial prize there. So it's around $400 and we have 2 of these wonderful packs to give away to your special man in your life. Thanks to Extend Life. Now for both of these, the Disney on Ice tickets or the wonderful health pack from Extend Life, all you need to do is go through to our Facebook page and make sure you like us and leave your details or call us on 3777 033. Really simple indeed. Now in our life, people can be addicted to many things. It may be as simple as chocolate or it could be right through to drugs. Yes, it could do. Well, Degen joins me today about how we can combat our addictions, no matter how small or big they are, so I look forward to that. We head out on occasion to St Elisa Retirement Village. We meet the wonderful staff. They are just fantastic and just love those residents. And we have a Reflexology demo. Yes, unbelievable. Scotty from rural New Zealand, a wonderful new program that's starting on CTV, is revealing his feet. That's right, on air. So we find out exactly what, how he's enjoying it and how it all comes about, thanks to the 2 Michelles. But first up, is breakfast important? If I said it was no, I'd probably get a banana shoved somewhere. Hello. Hello, Nicola. Hey, we're a bit excited about what I'm seeing down on this table. It's very cool.
Yes, well, there's lots of different things we can have for breakfast, and I think that the word itself actually sort of says how important it is, because breakfast is a breaking of the fast. You've fasted from when you had the meal the night before, right through, 12 hours sometimes, or even more sometimes. Yeah, if you're lucky. So it's really important to start that eating back again in the morning, of course, and making sure you don't miss your breakfast. Really important to get that meal in. And
excuses are, I don't have time. Just too busy for breakfast. But yeah, you've got some good options here though if you are busy.
Yeah, well I think, the stats say that young people who have breakfast do perform better at school. I mean, you can imagine if you're hungry and you're sitting in the classroom, you're not going to be thinking about what's happening in front of you, are you? You'd be thinking, gosh, when can I next get some food? Yeah, and it's often if you miss breakfast, when you do actually get hungry and you grab something for morning tea, it won't be as nutritious as what you would have had if you had your Wheat Bix to start the day, or toast with something on it, or your normal breakfast.
Well, you're running on empty already, aren't you, before you even start the day? That's the whole point, isn't it, really? Yeah. So what kind of foods make a good breakfast then? Okay, so
you need 3 different types of food to make a really good breakfast together. You need your carbohydrate portion, so something like a breakfast cereal or toast, or even rice or something like that. Okay. Then you need some protein, so you might have your milk or your yogurt or an egg on toast, something like that. And then you need your fruit and vegetable component, because that gives you all your nutrients that really keep your motor running. So your protein and your carbohydrate, that combination give you lasting energy, make you last through to lunchtime or at least morning tea. So here's a couple of examples of those. So we've got the protein and the yogurt there, but you could also have that in your milk, your carbohydrate portion with your muesli, and then add some fruit there. You've got your fruit and vegetables.
Oh, that granola looks very tasty indeed.
Does look tasty, and we'll tell
That's
you a little
toasted,
bit more
obviously.
about that. Yeah,
It's toasted.
It's
So you can
toasted.
have natural or toasted, can't you?
You can, yeah. So
Is it just flavour? Is it the only difference?
Well,
or?
with the toasted one, you add a little bit of oil, a little bit of juice. Some recipes add a little bit more than others. But it's just getting that combination and then popping it in the oven for a while. Yeah, that makes that different
Good
combination.
times.
So you don't need to add obviously the oil and the juice if you are having, or the honey or something like that, if you're not toasting it. So
Right, okay,
it is
so there we go.
strictly a bit more healthy, yeah. Now this one here I really love because this is known as the monkey roll. This is peanut butter and a piece of bread. Really simple idea for kids who are rushing out the door, and mornings are always crazy, aren't they? So that's an example that meets the criteria there. Also, the peanut butter is the protein. Carbohydrate, and you've fruit there. So there's lots of different ways. Egg on toast, all sorts of different ways.
Nothing beats eggs on toast, seriously,
eggs
does
on
it?
toast, and add some tomato to get your vegetables, or add a piece of fruit. Yeah, so just to make sure you get those nutrients in as well.
Because it is a balancing act, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, so stating the obvious, but what are the baddies? I mean, crikey.
Well, you want to avoid your really high sugar ones. They just sort of give you the sudden zap, and then you're drained for the rest of the morning. So a lot of cereals are about 30% sugar. So your Cocoa Pops, your Nutri-Grain even is about nearly 30% sugar. Those circular ones that are all different colours, I can't even think what they're called.
Hoops or something? Yeah. Fruit hoops or something.
Yeah, that's it. So try and avoid the high sugar ones. Good old wheat bix, porridge, I mean, they're the staples.
Exactly.
And you can add your fruit, you can add your yoghurt, you can make them a bit fancier and sort of tailor it to your own likings. And a really high fat breakfast, you can have a lovely savoury bacon and eggs and vegetables, tomatoes and mushrooms and things, without having a massive oily fry up. So, you just feel awful if you have a really high fat breakfast, don't you? So
what I quite like is just having poached eggs. I love poached eggs.
Yes.
But some avocado.
Yes, that's
and
lovely.
And the bacon, but no toast or anything like that. I just tend to have those there, and it doesn't feel too heavy. Because that's the thing, isn't it? If you have a heavy breakfast, then you do feel very lethargic sometimes, can't you?
Absolutely, it's not a good start to your day at all.
It's not a good start to your day at all. Because our children, you talked about children out the door. I mean, we've probably all seen at least one child walking down the street with a packet of biscuits for breakfast.
Yeah, and if there's many teenagers don't feel like breakfast that first thing in the morning, so make sure you pack them off with something like a breakfast that they can have when they feel like that later in the morning, rather than them scooting off to the tuck shop or trying to get something that's less healthy. Pack something, a monkey roll.
I love
some
this.
yogurt and some cereal. You can get your little packets of cereal or put that in a little bag. Something breakfast-like to have to start with.
Just being savvy.
Yeah.
So what's the extra benefits then?
Well, it's actually quite interesting. Obviously, we've talked about children doing better at school and even adults being able to concentrate better at work. But it's also linked to less obesity, so you're less likely to become obese later in life if you're a breakfast eater. And you're more likely to have a healthy diet in general, so eating more fruit and vegetables and milk is one thing that research showed. And also that children are less likely to eat pies and lollies and a lot of junk food. So it's great news if you start your day with breakfast.
Exactly, it's a no-brainer. And tomorrow, very cool indeed. We've got the granola recipe tomorrow on location with you. And try that also on your apple crumble.
Oh yes, that would be delicious.
Yummo, I know, too good. Okay, thanks for joining us. Remember, nourish.org.nz for those details as well, and the recipe will be out there. Now stay with us after the break. We're relaxing with Reflexology, and we're out on location with St. Elisa.
Two parts of St. Elisa. We wouldn't have St. Elisa if it wasn't for the residents, and we wouldn't have St. Elisa if it wasn't for the staff. The staff, to me, are the most important people in my world. They're my Dresden china. I look after my staff and they look after me, so it's great. We've got a team. You have to have a team in a place like this. We're all individuals, we've all got jobs to do, and we all depend on each other. We couldn't run St. Elisa for a day if the cleaner wasn't here, if the cook wasn't here. That's what it's all about. No job is more important than the other. We're all part of the team and we're all necessary.
I enjoy working at St Elisa because I enjoyed the residents, what they get out of being here. I enjoy the staff and what the place has to offer. The friendliness makes the place special. The residents make the place special. The management makes the place special. And you just fit in, you just become like one family. I mean, even if they've got family, you become part, but the ones that don't, they're sort of extra special because you sort of feel that they just need you that little bit more. It's not about just cooking meals because, you know, it's the interaction with the people, the residents, the other staff. You're part of the sad parts of some of their lives and, you know, you can make it happy for them and spend that time with them.
We become very much part of their family. We interact with them, they come on outings with us, they join in activities with us. When they visit all of us. They don't just visit their family members, they're coming and sitting with all of us talking. So they get to know us, but we also get to know them as a family and who they are and what's special to them and what's important to them and what's important for their family member. My role as diversional therapist within the dementia wing, I run the programs to help them do activities to maintain their abilities that they come in with and to maybe keep their minds active, keep them doing things, keep them involved in the community. We go out on outings so that they can be involved. We try to make it so that they don't feel like they're in a secure unit, but they're part of the world still. So we do quizzes, we watch the news, we watch TV programs together, quiz programs and join in. So that although it's a dementia wing, we try not to make it feel like a dementia wing. We're all a group and we're all here for one reason, and that's our residents. We get really great support from our manager, from Pat, and I think having everyone working together for one goal is really important. Well, the most important value is to respect the elderly, to be able to listen, probably listen to their stories. You need to have compassion, be able to show your love and to let them show you love, knowing that I'm helping other families by being here for their family member when maybe they can't because they're overseas or they're unwell, or just being part of a bigger family really.
Look at this fine man. This fine man will be adorning our screens on the 17th of July. Won't you just, Scotty? Introduce yourself, mate. Rural New Zealand.
Yeah, well, that's Rural New Zealand, so it's sort of farming show, rural show about people in the community and whatnot. So, yeah, obviously this is completely different than what I'm used to, being out of the studio, yeah.
So we're just winding you into it slowly, been pampering, because, you've got your gumboots on there, out and about in the countryside, but today, beautiful Michelle is joining me today, and the other Michelle Blackley at the other end as well. Reflexology, the feet.
Yeah.
Well, so just relax now, Scotty.
I
just
am.
pretend you're out in a nice pasture somewhere. The cows, the sheep. Yeah.
Okay, so lovely to have Scotty here today and being given a lovely bit of treat time by Michelle Blakely. And Michelle's just starting in the solar plexus area, which is kind of where our nerve endings and that all come together, and we can feel sometimes that butterfly in our stomach sensation.
Yeah.
So it's a really good point to start with a nice little bit of relaxation work. And that's what we always do, is start by, loosening up the feet a little bit. We can twist the spinal area, and which Michelle's just demonstrating how we do that now.
It's quite frightening how much, the feet, how much they control the other parts of the body though, as far as...
Yeah, it's nerve endings. I mean, there's so much sensitivity in our hands and in our feet. There is quite a lot of variance if you look online in terms of how many nerve endings we do have, but they say there's millions, and I mean, I guess if we have operations or things, it's very complicated putting everything back together, and that's why things are so sensitive. And with the feet, it's a greater surface area than the hands because we do work on the hands. But if people are comfortable with doing the feet, then that's what we'll generally work on, and that's what most people come to reflexology for or know about reflexology is because of the impact through the feet as such. But sometimes situations mean that the feet aren't going to be what we work with. It might actually be the hands, particularly if people have had some kind of trauma in that area, or If the elderly are all, someone's bandaged up, and if you're in a home, sometimes just working on the hands and having the touch on the hands can also be really nice as well. But people generally find that there's greater efficacy, if I can say that, from working through the feet than the hands. We use these every day, and so some people will see that the feet are a little bit more sensitive and responsive to that depth of touch that we're applying with knuckles and the tips of our fingers as we work through there.
Stating the obvious, a lot of people do not like their feet. They don't like to expose them at all. Do you find that some people, when they come to you, are feeling a little bit timid?
Yes, definitely. And some people will also think that it's quite a ticklish kind of sensation. And what do you think so far, Scotty?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
He's actually snoring. I thought I heard a snore.
It's a reasonably firm touch. I think everybody works with different pressures, and of course we're interested in what pressure suits different people, because you don't want to be too firm with someone who wants a lighter touch. But we do the sort of thumb walking technique, which Michelle's doing now, up the side onto the brain. The brain's on the top of your big toe.
Really?
Don't want to be getting the big toe in any trouble. So, yeah.
So don't stub your big toe.
Do not stub your big toe.
Could be a bit of a headache for the day, literally. Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And so what are after someone's had a session of reflexology, and especially as we're talking about the feet today, what are some of the comments you get back?
People are really surprised, I think, at the deep sense of relaxation that can come about in a session. And going back to what you said before about people being timid and that, they're often pleasantly surprised that in fact they can actually let go. Pain, there may be some pain sensations in different spots for people, but also people find that from a session, particularly I think the back, I think back pain is amazing what you can do with the pressure with reflexology and the difference that you can make for people in that particular area.
Yeah.
Headaches, you can work right all over that area, and often there's neck, shoulder tension. Working on those particular regions and putting that pressure and pressing, which causes those nerve impulses to go up the body and try to get a reset process taking place. So yeah, pain reduction. Some people get a lot of improvement in sleep, but the opportunity to put your feet up, literally,
and stop,
pause, take that time out and let the body reset. And I mean, some people, they just can't get on the table or in a seat fast enough because they love their feet being touched. There's some people who will just love it, and then other people's like, oh, I'm not so sure. But I've found that over time, you can often convince people that this is a really great holistic treatment that can be, beautifully enjoyed.
And I'm glad you said that. It is definitely holistic. I mean, okay, we're in a very artificial surroundings here, being in a TV studio. It's all very contrived. But I mean, I'm feeling quite relaxed as I'm talking to you here, and I can imagine Scotty's. And yeah. And we want some work out of him today. It might be a bit tricky. But I can see this not just being a one session, that it could be actually a journey for your pain, for pain relief as well.
And for stress relief, absolutely. It's like giving to yourself. I mean, we do so much and we spend on going out and doing all these different things, but sometimes the real benefit comes in investing in yourself to just take that little bit of time out, and the difference you'll feel in having that hour break for a session, which is generally what the average session time is, popping that in, even if from a budgetary point of view, perhaps once a month, if you're able to afford it, you're looking at $70 to $80 for the hour from most of us in the Southern Reflexology group.
Brilliant. And there we are. So that's as simple as that. It is affordable. You can make the time for yourself. Thank you so much to both beautiful Michelles today, and to Scotty. And we'll see more of a Scotty on Canterbury Live, of course, talking up rural New Zealand. Put the gumboots on after this. Very cool indeed. Now stay with us after the break. Addictions. Yes, we face it head on head with Karen Degen. Wow, way to take them, Gordy. That's all right, but addictions are addictions, no matter how big or small. Karen Degen, thank you. I loved this time every fortnight where you give us little snippets and tools about how we can address things in our lives. But addictions, they can be big and small, can't they?
They can. They can be as small as an addiction to chocolate. Yeah. And funnily enough, every time, often when I'm doing a group demonstration of EFT, I'll offer to clear someone of their addiction to chocolate, and no one ever wants to be cleared of their addiction to chocolate. They want to keep it.
Well, you think it's innocent, don't you?
You do.
But things start small, maybe it can fester, can't they, and become bigger?
Well, you know, addictions, and it doesn't matter what they are, addictions are things that we either do or use that distract us from thinking and feeling.
Right.
And that's why, well, last time I was here we talked about weight loss and how the main reason most diets don't work is they don't address the emotional contributors. So food can be an addiction. We overeat or comfort eat, and it's some ways no different from alcohol, drugs, many other things. I mean, why do so many people come home on a Friday night or go out on a Friday night and have drinks? Because alcohol works brilliantly to block out all those thoughts and feelings about work that we just want to forget about. I'm not saying we should do it, I'm saying it works. So do drugs. I mean, drugs work. Not saying we should do them, they're terrible things. But the fact is, they work to block out those thoughts and feelings we don't want to have. And that's what addictions are. And, you know, you and I were talking before about Facebook as an addiction, a new sort of upcoming one. And people who are addicted to Facebook, you might think, oh, that's not so bad, but it really is because you're using it as a way of not being in real life. You know, I've even had people who've been addicted to gaming. And, you know, you're totally out of reality then. You don't have to deal with your own problems. You don't have to deal with your own life. And so that's what addictions are. They really distract you from the stuff that you're not ready to deal with.
And people say that you potentially have an addictive personality. Does that exist?
I don't know. I think that might be an excuse sometimes. I mean, the thing is, addictions, as I say, if you've got a lot of emotions, perhaps, you know, unresolved emotions from the past or stress that's current, then you're more likely to turn to, say, alcohol or something like that. I mean, after the earthquake, so many people started drinking more. I had one friend, she told me, I'm buying cheaper wine now, Karen, because I'm buying 4 bottles a week instead of 1.
Oh, jeepers. Yeah, right. Yeah, not really fixing it, is it? Yeah.
And lots of people who had given up smoking started again because the stress had come up during that period and they didn't have good stress coping tools, which of course is one of the things I do. I help people to deal with stress. I help people to resolve and deal with their emotions so they've got inner peace. And when we've got inner peace, we don't need alcohol, drugs, food. We don't need anything like that when we're feeling at peace inside. So that's really the answer, to address the reasons why you need them.
Well, if someone has an addiction, they actually recognise that, okay, this is probably not normal. If I can't go a day, I'm addicted to sea salt kettle chips, just putting that out there. They're amazing. I'd probably have a handful every day. I mean, but in all seriousness though, if you do recognise there is something that you have to do all the time, what should you do?
Obviously come see me. I use, as you know, a form of energy psychology known as EFT, and it works brilliantly for clearing those beliefs, thoughts or emotions that you just can't get over on your own. And then you truly can be free. It's like, you know how there's this old belief, and it's actually true, that if you give up smoking you start eating a lot. The reason for that is, Andrea, they haven't addressed the reason why they needed the cigarettes in the first place, so they're simply swapping one tranquiliser for another. Tranquiliser, I mean tranquilising down your thoughts and feelings. They're simply swapping smoking for food because they haven't dealt with why they needed it in the first place. Okay.
So it is really quite simple. What you've just acknowledged then is that if you've acknowledged it, fantastic, and big ups to you for doing that firstly, but it is to just give you a call or go to your website, which is so informative, setfree.co.nz, and come to you and have a chat, have a conversation, and then start those steps on the road. And there we are, set free with EFT, emotional freedom techniques. Phone 03 332 0526. You can drop Karen an email. Remember that website, setfree.co.nz. Thanks so much, Karen.
Thank you,
Good on you. I'm addicted to you, just quietly.
Oh, thank you.
Now, thank you so much for joining us today. Happy Monday to you all. We'll do it all again tomorrow when we have Gordon is out on location with the Harlem Globetrotters. Very cool indeed. And Phyllis Brown. See you tomorrow.